Hello YouTube, today we will be making a homemade speaker. First you will need electrical tape, a Swiss Army knife or a pair of scissors and a pair of pliers, a hot glue gun, a small plate, small bowl, microphone wire, it's basically wire with two wires in it, a microphone jack, so you could plug it into your iPhone, a magnet. For this I'm using a large 95-pound ceramic magnet. You could use neodymium or any other magnet that's very strong. Wire. From this I'm using wire from the armature plates of a motor. Double-sided tape to make it easier to wrap a coil. 2 playing cards, you could use index cards. And a sheet of paper. For smaller magnets you can use index cards. Once you have your parts together, you can start. To start, we're going to glue the big ceramic magnet to your plate. A little bit of hot glue. Make sure you center the magnet. Make sure it's nice and dry. Then, you're going to take your playing cards or index cards and fold it into an accordion shape. Make the small little folds about a little over 1/4 of an inch on each. They don't need to be exact. This is just going to act as a suspension for the speaker. Now when you have them all folded, you're going to make sure they're about the same length. Make sure the tops are flat. Just like that. Again, make sure they are the same size. There we go. Now you can glue these to your plate with the magnet. You're going to want to glue them right next to the magnet on opposite sides. Make sure they are standing up nice and straight, and you can move on to making your coil. For the coil, you will need your wire. You can use any type of wire that has a coating over it. The thinner the better, and the more wraps the better. So you're going to take your piece of paper, you're going to fold it with about an inch fold over and over until you get to the bottom. And the paper is all folded. You're then going to take a little bit of electrical tape and make sure the paper stays together. So cut that with your pair of scissors and cut it again so you get the both ends. This tape is here to keep the paper folded so it does not unravel when you are coiling. You're then going to cut yourself another piece of electrical tape so you can have it ready. You can put that to the side. You're next going to take your paper, make sure you bend it in a circular motion like this. You're going to bend your suspension out of the way and sort of snake it around the magnet. You're then going to take that piece of tape you set aside and make sure you tape it to the circumference of the magnet. Just like that. Make sure it fits one more time. You want it to fit loosely, but you want it to not be too loose, or it will not be as loud and the sound will not be as clear. Make sure minimal creases are there. And now you have your coil holder. As an option, you can use double-sided tape to get your coil started. I like to just put a little bit like that, vertically. And you're going to take your wire and you're going to wrap it around the coil holder. When your coil is done, it should look something like this. I only had enough wire to wrap it around 30 times, but it should work. What I like to do is take some electrical tape and put it around the coil so the coil is nice and stuck in place when it is making music. You just put that on the coil. Okay, when your coil is done, you are going to want to glue it to the circumference of your bowl. So you could put a few drops of glue. You want to put a lot of hot glue so it stays in place. Put it around the outside. Let that dry. You're then going to make sure everything fits. Beautiful. Now you're going to want to open these flaps up. Put your speaker, your big top bowl on, and glue these flaps to the sides of the bowl. You can do that by first gluing the flaps and then pushing it against the bowl. Do that for the other side. You now have a speaker. Now, remember in the beginning we said these wires are coated. The way you get the coating off is one of two ways. You can scrape it off with a knife, which I prefer not to do, or you can use matches and burn the enamel off. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're just going to light a match. Make sure you don't ignite the paper. I'm just going to do that. And your enamel is now off. You're then going to take your microphone wire and find the wires and just wrap them around. Okay. We're then going to take your microphone jack and attach the white coated wire to the white coated wire and the wire with no coating to the wire with no coating. Just going to twist it around. And you could always put some electrical tape over it or solder it, but I'm not going to do that. It's a little quicker like this. And there you have it. There is your speaker. Now, to test it out. Okay, now time to test it out. As you can see, I've taped and glued the wire to the speaker, and I've taped the jack to the wire. Now, time to test it out. We're going to play Journey. Don't Stop Believing by Journey. plays very well. Not too loud, but if you want to make it louder, you can always buy an amplifier at Radio Shack. I'll give you the example. This amplifier was $30. It's very nice. It increases quality. Let me turn it on. Just plug it into your iPhone. It has a few different settings. It's much louder. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to check out a video of my speaker, of how a speaker works in more depth and detail, please visit my other video. I've included a link in the description. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Goodbye.